There comes a moment in every twin flame journey when the depth of love is tested not by how much you can give, but by how well you can let go. The runner chaser dynamic, one of the most painful yet transformative stages of this connection, often leaves the awakened twin, usually the divine feminine, feeling lost between holding on and surrendering. You sense the truth of the bond, you feel their energy even when they're gone. But their distance, silence, or avoidance triggers every fear, every insecurity, every shadow you thought you'd healed. It's a paradox that confuses even the most spiritually grounded souls. How can someone who feels so deeply connected run from the very thing their soul longs for? But that's what makes the twin flame connection unique. It's not a relationship meant to fulfill your ego's desires. It's meant to awaken your soul. When the runner pulls away, they are not rejecting love. They are rejecting the mirror that reflects the parts of themselves they are not yet ready to face. And that is where your true test begins. Because what you do during this separation phase determines whether the connection evolves or repeats the same painful cycle. Too often, the chaser reacts out of fear, attachment, or desperation, unknowingly prolonging the separation. There are certain things you must never do for a twin flame runner, not out of pride or punishment, but out of self-respect, energetic integrity, and love for both souls. Let's uncover 7 of those things in depth so you can learn how to navigate this phase with strength, grace, and wisdom. 1. Never chase them or try to force communication. When your twin flame runs, the instinct to reach out is almost uncontrollable. You want closure, reassurance, or a simple explanation. You replay conversations, analyze messages, and feel compelled to send that one last text that might fix everything. But chasing them, emotionally, energetically, or physically, only reinforces their need to run. The energy of pursuit feeds the energy of avoidance. The truth is, communication in twin flame dynamics cannot be forced. Your twin flame silence often has little to do with you and everything to do with their internal chaos. They are overwhelmed by the intensity of the connection and need space to process their emotions. When you chase, you disrupt that natural process, adding pressure to an already fragile situation. Instead, shift your focus inward. Use the silence as a mirror to explore what triggers your need for control. Is it fear of abandonment? Is it the need to feel validated? When you understand your emotional responses, you begin to break the cycle of push and pull. Energetically, chasing sends the signal that you do not trust the bond to stand on its own. Detachment doesn't mean you stop loving them. It means you release the need to manage how and when love should unfold. When you allow space, you give both of you room to grow. And ironically, that space often becomes the bridge that reconnects you. So when you feel the urge to reach out, pause. Breathe. Instead of texting them, write in a journal. Speak to your higher self. Ask what lesson this silence is teaching you. The more you honor the stillness, the more you align with your soul's energy, and the more magnetically your twin will feel your shift. 2. Never sacrifice your self-worth to keep their love. One of the deepest traps in the twin flame journey is confusing unconditional love with self-abandonment. You may find yourself excusing disrespect, inconsistency, or emotional withdrawal in the name of divine love. But no form of love, no matter how sacred, should make you feel unworthy. Your twin flame is not meant to be your master. They are your mirror. If they trigger feelings of inadequacy, it's not a sign to chase their approval. It's a sign to heal the wounds that make you feel small. When you lower your standards or compromise your boundaries to keep them close, you create an energetic imbalance that prolongs the separation. You cannot teach someone how to value you by devaluing yourself. Real twin flame love thrives on mutual respect and energetic equality. Your light is meant to inspire, not to diminish in fear of losing them. The moment you start betraying yourself, the connection loses its divine alignment. If your runner is distant or cold, remind yourself that you are not defined by their behavior. Your worth is not determined by how they see you. It is determined by how you see yourself. Every time you honor your own energy, you raise the vibration of the entire connection. Stand firm in your self-love. Continue your routines, nurture your body, and engage in what brings you joy. When you pour love into yourself, you send a powerful message to your twin's higher self. I love you, but I will not lose myself to prove it. That energetic message does more healing than any physical action could ever achieve. 3. Never take responsibility for their healing. One of the hardest truths in this journey is realizing that you cannot heal your twin flame. You can guide, inspire, and love them, but you cannot walk their path for them. Many awakened twins carry the weight of their runner's pain, feeling responsible for their transformation. You may try to fix their wounds, offer constant support, or even absorb their emotional burdens, but that only drains your energy and delays your own evolution. Your twin flame's healing is sacred and personal. Their pain, trauma, and lessons are tailored to their soul's growth, just as yours are to you. When you try to heal them, you interfere with the divine plan and rob them of the experiences they need to awaken. True love doesn't rescue, it empowers. Every time you step into the role of savior, you affirm the illusion that they are broken and you must fix them. But they are not broken, they are just awakening at a different pace. Your task is to hold love, not carry their burden. Focus on your healing. When you release your need to fix them, the energy between you balances. You begin to embody the vibration of wholeness, which naturally inspires your twin to face their own shadows. Healing in twin flame connections is like a mirror. As one heals, the other feels the call to rise. So the next time you feel the urge to rescue, pause and redirect that energy inward. Heal your abandonment wounds, your need for control, and your fear of separation. Because the more whole you become, the easier it is for your twin to see that wholeness reflected in you and remember it within themselves. 4. Never wait for them to come back before living your life. Many people unconsciously put their entire life on hold, waiting for their twin flame to return. They stop dating, stop exploring opportunities, and even lose passion for their dreams. They live suspended between hope and heartbreak, believing that life will only begin once reunion happens. But this waiting energy creates stagnation. Your twin flame separation is not a punishment. It's a divine invitation to evolve. The universe does not delay reunion to make you suffer. It delays it so you can remember who you are beyond the connection. When you make your happiness dependent on their return, you send a signal that your fulfillment comes from outside yourself. Instead of waiting, start living. Reconnect with your passions, nurture your friendships, explore your spirituality, and build the life your soul has been calling you toward. Every new step you take toward your purpose aligns you closer to your twin, not through force, but through resonance. Energetically, your twin flame feels your expansion. When you begin to shine in your individuality, it triggers their soul to rise. You become the living embodiment of love, independent, radiant, and fulfilled. And that energy magnetically draws them back in a more balanced, awakened form. Remember, the journey isn't about reunion, it's about union. Union within yourself. The more complete you feel alone, the more naturally you align with your twin. So stop waiting for a moment that hasn't come yet. Life is happening now, and every breath you take is part of your soul's evolution. 5. Never suppress your emotions to appear spiritually strong. In the twin flame community, there's often a misunderstanding that spiritual strength means suppressing pain, acting detached, or pretending you've moved on. But spiritual growth doesn't mean bypassing your emotions. It means facing them with awareness. When your twin flame runs, it triggers some of the deepest wounds imaginable. Rejection, abandonment, unworthiness. Suppressing those feelings doesn't make you strong. It disconnects you from your truth. Healing requires honesty. You cannot heal what you refuse to feel. Allow yourself to cry, to grieve, to rage, to release. Feel everything without judgment. The heartache you experience is not a sign of weakness. It's evidence of the depth of love your soul carries. Each tear, each pang of longing is a step closer to liberation. The key is not to get trapped in your pain, but to transform it. When emotions arise, sit with them instead of reacting. Ask what they are trying to teach you. Often, pain is your soul's way of shedding the old layers of ego that kept you disconnected from unconditional love. True spiritual strength comes from vulnerability. When you honor your emotions, you bring light to your shadows, and your energy becomes clearer. That clarity is what helps you detach with love rather than resentment. And from that space of authenticity, healing flows naturally. 6. Never compare your journey to anyone else's. No two twin flame journeys are the same. What happens in one connection cannot be used as a blueprint for another. Yet in moments of uncertainty, it's easy to look at others who seem to have found union and wonder, why not me? Comparison, however, is a trap that breeds doubt and disconnects you from your soul's rhythm. Every twin flame connection has its own divine timing, lessons, and pace. Some reunite quickly, others take years or even lifetimes. But the timing is not a measure of love, it's a reflection of readiness. Both twins must reach a certain level of inner balance before union can occur, and that balance cannot be rushed. When you compare, you shift from trust to fear. You begin to question your intuition, your growth, and even your connection. That energetic doubt creates resistance, blocking the flow of divine alignment. The truth is, you are exactly where you are meant to be. Every delay, every silence, every heartbreak has purpose. Instead of comparing, cultivate gratitude for your unique path. Reflect on how far you've come, how much stronger, wiser, and more self-aware you are now. Use that awareness as fuel to deepen your self-love and faith. Your twin flame journey is a sacred dance choreographed by your higher selves. Trust that what looks like delay is divine preparation. Focus on your healing, your purpose, and your joy. The more you surrender to your own rhythm, the more effortlessly your connection will align in divine timing. 7. Never lose faith in the connection or its purpose. When separation stretches longer than expected, it's easy to doubt the entire journey. You may question whether it was real or just an illusion. The pain can make you wonder if you imagined the connection altogether. But faith is the anchor that keeps you steady when everything else falls apart. Losing faith doesn't just weaken your energy, it disconnects you from the higher perspective that gives this journey meaning. The twin flame path is not linear. It's a spiral of awakening. Every stage, meeting, separation, healing, reunion, is designed to bring you closer to your authentic self. Even when your twin seems gone, the soul bond never fades. You can feel their energy in your dreams, in sudden emotions, in the silent pull of your heart. That's because this connection exists beyond the physical. It is spiritual, eternal, and guided by divine intelligence. When you doubt the connection, remind yourself that love doesn't vanish, it transforms. It moves from attachment to surrender, from longing to peace. Faith is not about believing everything will happen the way you want. It's about trusting that whatever happens serves your highest good. To keep your faith strong, stay grounded in your spiritual practices. Meditate, pray, spend time in nature, or simply breathe deeply into the present moment. Let your connection with the divine sustain you when the human part of you feels tired. Because when you align with divine love, you realize that even separation is an act of grace, an opportunity for both souls to rise higher. The twin flame journey is not for the faint of heart. It is a spiritual initiation that dismantles your illusions and teaches you the purest form of love, one that begins within. The runner phase, though painful, is not a rejection but a reflection. It shows you where fear still lives, where attachment still binds, and where healing is still needed. By avoiding these 7 things, chasing, self-abandonment, over-responsibility, waiting, suppression, comparison, and doubt, you free yourself from the lower vibrations that keep the connection stuck. You step into your divine power, embodying the very love your twin is running from. And that's the paradox. When you stop trying to hold on, everything begins to align. When you stop searching for them outside of yourself, you find them within. The more you return to your own soul, the more your twin is guided home to you, not through force, but through resonance. Because true reunion doesn't begin with 2 people meeting. It begins with one soul remembering who it is. And once that remembrance takes root, love no longer feels like a chase. It becomes a dance, gentle, eternal, and beautifully divine.